Hi, my name is Rose Reveley. I am a Vedic astrologer and Hatha yoga teacher. I'm here today to talk to you about the arrival of consciousness on our planet. And I wanted to speak to you specifically about Kundalini energy. And then I also wanted to show you or share with you the Vedic astrology planetary energy that's there that is also pointing to this fabulous time to be on the planet. I became first very curious about Kundalini when I was going through my yoga teacher training about 10 years ago. And so Kundalini is a word, a Sanskrit word, that has many different definitions. So several of the words that are used to describe Kundalini are serpent energy, life force, coiled, winding, circular power, or spiraled one. So Kundalini is the cosmic creative power, it's evolutionary energy, and we're all born with this. Kundalini resides at the base of the spine, near the coccyx or the tailbone. It is said to be coiled energy. And so it has also been compared to electrical energy. Kundalini is the creative potential in everyone. So some of it flows within us, but for the most part, it is asleep and coiled like a serpent at the base of the spine. In order for consciousness to be raised, Kundalini must be raised. The person who spoke and documented the most about Kundalini was a man named Gopi Krishna. And he had an experience during his meditation in 1937. This began his journey with Kundalini. So he actually spent years trying to understand what was going on with his body and his mind. It's really because of him that we have as much information, detailed information, because Gopi Krishna journaled about his experience. So we have a deeper understanding today. In his documentation, he talks about so many challenges with his life. He had challenges in every way. He spoke about that food felt like ash in his mouth. He couldn't sleep. He had trouble just navigating through everyday activities. He says in his journaling, he felt like his body had an internal fire inside of it. So he couldn't sleep physically and mentally. He was exhausted much of the time. And he also wondered often about his own mental stability, about his ability to stay sane. So Kundalini is experienced through the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual body. And so Yogi Bhajan wrote this about Kundalini. The energy of the glandular system combines with the nervous system to create such a sensitivity that the totality of the brain receives signals and integrates them. So you see, this affects every part of our body, every part of our mind. So you might think, what is the purpose of Kundalini? The purpose of Kundalini is to awaken us to who we really are. It pushes us towards enlightenment. So once Kundalini is activated, it begins to move up the spine, through the chakras, and then out the top of the head. As it moves through the astral body, the spinal cord, it's moving through the spinal cord, and it brings awareness. It's moving through the chakras. So it can bring bliss, it can bring enlightenment, it can unlock abilities that we never knew we had. It can unlock the genius inside of us. And it is an awakening experience, and this is experienced differently with everyone because we're all individual and we're all unique. So the opening of Kundalini is a spiritual awakening. So I've listed a few symptoms of Kundalini, or the release of Kundalini, that it's possible for a person to experience. Again, this is just a few, and everyone may experience other symptoms and different ones. Here are a few. One is a feeling of losing it mentally. Another is unexplained or erratic behavior. Excessive mood swings. You may feel very happy and content one moment and very depressed and sad the next. And these mood swings can vary throughout the day. Being confused or having trouble remembering, you may feel that you are losing your memory. Extremes in your appearance. You can look really young at one time, and then at a time not so far away, you can look very much older. So this can be not that much of a time lapse between looking young, looking old. Another one is dissatisfaction with ourselves, dissatisfaction with work, with our friends, with our family. This can also be a dissatisfaction all the way around with everything about your life. So these are just a few symptoms, as I said. The process of Kundalini awakening can actually take years. And so it is a process of becoming aware and awake. So now I'd like to talk a little about the astrology of Kundalini. And keep in mind, I'm talking about Vedic astrology, and we use the sidereal zodiac for that. So Uranus is the planet that I have been talking about in my newsletters, and I have blogged on this. And it is the planet that I have said I had my eye on. That's because it is the planet of unexpected events, unexpected happenings. Today, Uranus turned retrograde in the sign of Aries. So the sign of Aries is ruled by Mars. And in the natural zodiac, Aries represents the head, okay? It signifies the head. So Uranus creates this lightning bolt type of energy. So someone I always think of when I see lightning is, I think of Nikola Tesla, who is someone who is a good example of someone with a very powerful Uranus, because he is actually responsible for all of our electrical devices, the way we communicate today. He had hundreds, if not maybe thousands of patents. Many patents were never actually patented, but he had many discoveries and is considered a genius. So he was extremely inventive and creative, and this is the planet Uranus we're talking about. So the nakshatra that Uranus is in now is Ashwini, and Ashwini, the symbol for Ashwini is the head of the horse, and everyone knows that horses can be very fast, right? Their energy is very fast. So the Ashwini twins were the celestial healers of the zodiac. They were very fast in their energy, and this nakshatra is known to be a nakshatra that has miracles occur. And so this nakshatra is also, Ashwini is ruled by Ketu, which is the tail of the dragon, or guides us and leads us to spiritual enlightenment. So this is all showing us that the past is going to be part of our healing, right? The past is coming up here. So squaring off with Uranus is the planet Mars. Mars is currently retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. But Mars deals with our physical energy. Mars deals with our blood and our motivation. So it has a big influence on us, even though it is retrograde right now. And Mars is in the Sun's nakshatra. And so this is even more interesting because the Sun and Mars together create a lot of heat, okay? A lot of fire. Both of these planets are fiery planets, the Sun and Mars. So Uranus is the planet of unexpected events, is getting ready to square off with Mars. So you can think of it like this. Think of two boxers in the boxing ring, and they're getting ready to come out and box. They're getting ready to compete. And they're both in their corners preparing, and they're both very powerful in their own ways. So you can look at and think of Uranus and Mars as this way. They both have a lot of energy. So one of the things I think is very interesting is that right now Uranus is at 8 degrees, and the number 8 signifies the number of transformation. The number 8 signifies the number of transformation. So Mars and Uranus create an extraordinary power. This is the kind of power that can be turbulent, that is even explosive. And certainly it is and can be life-changing. So Mars is in the star or the nakshatra called Uttara Ashada. Again, this is ruled by the Sun. The Sun creates consciousness. The Sun and the Moon create consciousness first in the sky. And then for us too, they create consciousness within us. Mars currently is in the sign of Saturn, as I said, and now Saturn is 8 degrees. Again, we see 8, the number 8 of transformation, and it's in a nakshatra called Mula, M-U-L-A, Mula. Mula is the nakshatra of initiation towards spiritual understanding, spiritual realization. And then we have Muladhara chakra. This is, all yoga teachers are familiar with this chakra. It's the base chakra where the Kundalini power resides, where it lives at the base of the spine in Muladhara. So Saturn is at 8 degrees. Uranus is at 8 degrees. Mars was just at 8 degrees, and Mars will return. Whenever it goes direct, it will return back to 8 degrees. The eclipse is coming up on August the 11th, and the Sun and the Moon and Mercury will be in the nakshatra of Ashlesha. And Ashlesha is where the lunar and solar zodiac meet, and that empowers this nakshatra so much. Because Ashlesha shows the ending of one cycle and the beginning of another. So it's a very powerful star. Ashlesha is ruled by Mercury, and the symbol for Ashlesha is, guess what? The serpent. So this is serpent energy also that's showing up. So this process that we are in now and will be going through, continuing to go through, especially activation at the eclipse, is shedding, like the snake sheds its skin. So Mercury is currently retrograde, and it has us reviewing our lives, reviewing and reassessing ourselves on many levels. This is a time where we can truly reimagine our lives. We can reinvent ourselves. So it is traveling. Mercury is traveling. Well, let me just say this. The sun, the moon, and Mercury and Rahu are all together in the sign of Cancer. This is where the eclipse is happening. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so the moon is very sensitive and very emotional. It relates to our mother, to the past. Again, the past keeps coming up, right? And because this is the opportunity to heal for everyone. So feelings that have long been locked inside of us, some we may not even have been aware of, may come up at this time. Cancer is the sign of the home and the mom. So past feelings, past emotions, past actions that we've done. This is a transformation for the entire planet. And this is not easy. Transformation is not easy. In the past, Kundalini awakenings really happened to those who were on a spiritual path, like Gopi Krishna, who had meditated for years. Similar, many of us will go through this, and in fact, I feel and believe the entire planet will go through this awakening, and many will not have been on a spiritual path, and that is what will make this awakening so profound for many people. This will be truly a spiritual journey, but it is the arrival of consciousness. I have written on this on my website, my blog. In July, I wrote Consciousness Arrival. And you may have already noticed this in friends and family, and in yourself even. You may have noticed these energies are already here. And I also wrote on the symptoms of spiritual awakening, and some 8 symptoms of spiritual awakening. And you may see that on my blog post on my website. So really, honestly, we are already in the activation point of this Kundalini awakening, this spiritual awakening. And we've been undergoing it for some time. But you're going to notice more and more symptoms, especially with the eclipse and then after the eclipse. As I mentioned, Uranus is 8 degrees, transformational sign. So is Saturn. And this is, Saturn is very much a part of this, because Saturn is the karmic indicator. Saturn is also triggering this. Like, remember, it's in Muladhara chakra. This is the activation of Kundalini energy. So it's a great time to be on the planet. We're all here together to learn, to grow, we're all here to experience this spiritual journey. And we're all part of this consciousness upgrade and spiritual development. We are waking up to who we are. So if you like this video and you'd like to see more, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'd like to know more about how the eclipse is going to affect you in the upcoming months, please email me at rreveley10@gmail.com, and you can do that also through my website, which is rosereveley.astrology.com, or you can go to rosereveley.com. Thank you so much for watching my video. Om Shanti.